Imagine this, a quiet neighborhood, neighbors nodding their heads in the morning sun, lawns freshly mowed, children playing hopscotch in the streets. But behind one closed door lies a dark secret, a father who turned his own daughter's life into a prison for 23 years. A place where a mother's death marks the beginning of a nightmare, and the truth lies hidden beneath layers of silence. This is the story of Amamira Brooks, a young girl who was trapped in a house of secrets and lies for over 2 decades, waiting for the world to see what had been buried right beneath their noses. Welcome to True Crime Archives. Thanks to all my viewers and subscribers for your support. Stay tuned for daily true crime updates. Don't forget to subscribe. July 12, 1995. The night was long, with the fluorescent lights buzzing above the tired hospital staff. Elias Brooks, a 38-year-old nurse, was used to late shifts, often staying when others clocked out. But tonight, something unexpected happened. Her body suddenly collapsed, her heart unable to sustain her any longer. The woman who had spent her life saving others was now gone, and her 17-year-old daughter, Amamira, stood alone in a world without guidance, left to deal with a grief she couldn't understand. As the days passed, Elias Brooks, a respected nurse and Lena's husband, was left to care for his daughter. Though the world saw a grieving widower, something darker festered beneath his grief. Within weeks, he resigned from his job and withdrew from the world, taking Amamira with him. He told everyone she was staying with family, that she was fine, but the truth was much darker. Elias's departure from the hospital was met with sympathy, but it was also the beginning of a quiet deception. He told relatives and friends that Amamira had moved away, that she had enrolled in a boarding school, and that she was staying with her aunt upstate. The lies flowed smoothly, and no one questioned them. No one checked for the truth. Elias had created a world where his daughter's existence was nothing but a story, easily told and easily believed. Amamira remained silent, unaware of the growing web of lies being spun around her. As the years passed, Elias's grip tightened, and no one suspected that she had never left the house. The people in the neighborhood continued to see Elias mowing the lawn, trimming the hedges, attending church, and always maintaining the appearance of a respectable man. But inside, something darker was taking root. Spring of 1996, Amamira, now 18, found herself alone in the world, still grieving her mother but trusting her father's authority. Elias, though still calm and controlled, began to isolate his daughter in ways that would change her life forever. One night he asked her to help him with some boxes in the basement. She followed him downstairs only to hear the unmistakable sound of a lock sliding into place. "Why did you lock it?" she asked, her voice trembling. "This is where you'll stay now," Elias answered, his tone final. At first, Amamira thought it was a joke, but the silence that followed turned to terror as she realized that the basement had become her prison. The basement was damp, dark, and lifeless. There were no windows, no way of knowing if it was day or night. Elias controlled everything, even the food she ate and when she could speak. His calm demeanor masked a cruel truth. He had locked her away, and the world would never know. Months passed, then years. Amamira, isolated in the basement, tried to maintain a sense of normalcy, clinging to memories of her mother and the world she had once known. But Elias's words, soothing but twisted, became the only truth she knew. "You don't belong out there. No one is looking for you. You're safe here with me." As the days bled into months, she began to lose track of time. She counted the meals, marked the days with scratches on the wall. She begged, pleaded, but Elias was always calm, always in control. Each request for freedom was met with silence, and each attempt at rebellion was crushed under his quiet authority. January 7th, 2000. By now, Amamira had grown numb. The pain had dulled, the hope had faded, but a small part of her still clung to memories of the outside world. One day, as she sat in her cold, dark prison, she heard something, small and faint, the sound of a baby crying. It was a sound she had not heard in years. Elias brought the child upstairs, telling her it was better for the baby outside, that she had done well. He took the child from her arms, and once again, she was alone. But this time, something had changed. The basement had become a place of births, each one taken from her arms, stolen in the name of obedience. October 14, 2018, a hammer struck the wall in Ronald Hayes' basement, but the sound didn't echo back as expected. The foreman frowned, testing the air. There was something odd about the sound of the wall, a hollow emptiness that didn't belong. He widened the hole, and what he found behind it was enough to stop the renovation crew in their tracks. Behind the wall, there was a passage. It led straight into the Brooks property, and behind it, locked and chained, was a room. Inside was Amamira. She had been hidden away for years, her body used for unimaginable things. Officers Dana Ruiz and Tom Avery were called to the scene. As they ventured into the passage, they found a locked door. When they opened it, they found a woman, pale, disoriented, and broken. Amamira's eyes flickered as they found her, and she lifted a hand in a gesture that begged for gentleness. "Please don't take them. Don't let him take them," she whispered. For a moment, the room was silent. Then, with the help of the officers, she was guided toward the light. For the first time in years, she was in the light. The warmth of the sun felt unfamiliar, but it was the first step toward freedom. The investigation into Elias Brooks unraveled the full extent of his crimes. For over 20 years, he had used his medical training to imprison his daughter and force her to bear children, selling them to a network of buyers. The forensic evidence, forged documents, and financial transactions exposed his dark business. Elias was arrested and convicted, but the damage he caused could never be undone. Amamira's trauma was too deep, and the scars of those lost years would never fully heal. March the 2nd, 2020. Amamira stood at the threshold of a new life, but it was a life that would never be the same. The trial was over. Elias was behind bars, but freedom came with a cost. She had spent years locked away, years without a voice, without choice. Therapy helped her begin the long process of healing, but the questions never stopped. Where were her children now? Had they been told about her? Did they know she existed? Though Amamira was free, the weight of her past and the children she had lost would forever haunt her. The world had moved on, but she was still trying to understand who she was and what had been taken from her. The community of the quiet neighborhood, who had ignored the signs for so long, now faced its own guilt. The neighbors who had once whispered about strange noises and locked doors now questioned their complicity. Ronald Hayes, Elaine Porter, and others confessed that they had noticed something was wrong but had never acted. The truth had been buried beneath silence, but now it was impossible to ignore. The questions of how many other children had been lost in the system, how many other families had been fooled, would linger for years to come. Amamira's story did not end with her freedom. It was a story of survival, of pain, and of a father who had betrayed her trust and turned her body into a product. But it was also a story of resilience. She had survived the worst, and now she would learn to live again, one step at a time. But the deepest wound would always be the children she never had the chance to know. Their lives, stolen from her arms, were the ones that would never be truly free. And the question remained, where were they now? Would they ever know the truth about their mother? Like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories.